What's up, guys? This video we're going to show you how women will test men, especially hot women. You're going to see an example of a guy failing one of these shit tests and also an example of a guy succeeding one of these shit tests, so you know exactly what to do next time a hot girl tests you. So as I mentioned, women, especially hot women, will quite often test men, and they want to do this to find out what kind of a guy you really are. You the kind of guy that's all talk, but whenever he's faced with a little bit of a challenge, he's just going to become this nervous, stuttering mess like, I didn't mean that. Or you're a confident guy who has a strong frame, right, and can handle a girl's shit, right? Women want to see if you're true alpha or you're just a beta pretending to be alpha. We call this a shit test. And it's very important to be able to handle these tests. So I'm going to show you examples of a guy failing this shit test, and I'm going to show you me passing that same exact shit test. So we've been doing a segment on our podcast called Virtual Speed Dating, right? We bring on a few girls and we bring on guys from the audience who have them go on a 5-minute date with the girl. And this was a really great example because we had a girl who was very confident, right? She was giving a lot of guys shit, and the vast majority of guys were failing. So let's take a look at an example of how to fail a shit test.
Okay, so if we're going on a date, right? I'm going to start it off. Where are we going? What are we doing?
Where are we going? Let's see. So we're going in the park. You're holding my hand. Yeah. You're trying to hold my hand and you're trying to, sneak kisses on my cheeks.
Okay, hold up. So you think I'm a whore?
Now, this is a perfect shit test. She's not actually insulted, right? She's playfully testing you.
No, I didn't say that. I said you're...
I think that's what you're saying.
No.
Now, the best way to fail a shit test is to back down and backtrack. Like, oh, I didn't say that.
I think that's romantic. I don't think that's actually whorish.
On the first date, you think I'm going to be all over you?
Maybe. But...
Ooh, and he has failed. Notice how she has a big smile on her face. She's playfully teasing him. She wants to see how he's going to respond. Now, when you get all quiet and you're like, maybe, right? You failed the shit test. How would have passed that shit test? And she's like, oh, so you think I'm a whore? I'm like, yeah, that's clearly what I said. You picked up on the situation perfectly, right? Giving her that playful energy back, right? But if you're like, I didn't say that, you failed the shit test.
Yeah, I think he thinks I'm a slut. Like, what the fuck? I normally wait until, like, the third date to, actually show affection, especially because I'm first meeting someone. I'm not just going to, be walking, holding hands. I feel like that's kind of, way too far.
Okay, yeah. Maybe it is. Okay. I could see what you're saying.
She has completely eviscerated his frame in under 30 seconds.
Okay, so then we could go to coffee and talk and get to know each other, see where we're from, see what we're... So
when you start backtracking like that, you have failed the shit test, right? She has completely dominated the frame and you have failed. Now this went on for another 3-4 minutes. I'm going to skip forward to the end where I basically came in, right? Because the day was over. You can see that things only went downhill from here.
You thought I was like a chef?
I don't think you need to be a chef to cook a burger.
I don't like burgers. Burgers are gross.
I love burgers.
What?
Oh my God. Do you not eat protein? What do you eat?
Chicken, just
a burger is basically the same thing as a steak.
So I don't even...
Now what happens is when you fail multiple shit tests in the girl's respect for you goes down, right? She feels more emboldened because she just thinks that you're kind of like a little wimpy beta guy, right?
Your Honor, she's leading the witness. So this goes back to similar feedback that I was giving the previous people. I said she has a strong frame, and she broke down your frame in about 30 seconds. When she was I'm not gonna. What, you think I'm a slut? Right? Like, she's testing you a little bit. Like, she doesn't really mean that shit. Like, right? So the way I would have.
Now notice how she's laughing and smiling, right? Because she knows I am spot on. She was testing him and he failed. So typically when I do these virtual speed dates, I'm just the host. However, with this girl, everyone in the chat was saying, yo, Alex, you should go on a date with her and kind of demonstrate how it's done, right? And I did want to give an example of how you would pass the shit test and how you would maintain frame. So let's skip forward to our date.
Oh, see, I'm Polish, but that. But it's okay.
Why? Why do I not like that? I have nothing against Polish.
Because you don't like Russian.
Well, so here, now this happened pretty quickly, but notice what she did. She's like, oh, but I'm Polish, but you don't like that, but that's okay, right? That's also a shit test, right? How am I going to react to that? So there's many ways you can pass a shit test. The first one is pretty easy. You just basically say you challenge the girl back. You're like, why do I not like that, right? So basically, she's challenging you, and you challenge her right back.
Like Russians and Polish people don't really like each other that much.
No, that was like 20 years ago, okay? Now we don't like Ukraine, okay? We're cool with the Poles.
Yeah, well, so you're coming at your own self.
Well, no, I'm not Ukrainian, so how would it be coming at myself?
They're saying you're a 6'4" Russian.
Now, when a girl changes the topic, that's how you know you passed the shit test. There's not going to be like a big dash. It's not going to be like, you passed my shit test, congratulations. You passed the shit test when she just kind of playfully changed the topic, right? So this was a very interesting one, happened quick. Let's kind of go to the end again and dissect this.
Well, no, I'm not Ukrainian, so how would it be coming at myself?
So this method of passing the shit test, again, is basically you're challenging her back. So she challenges you, right, in a playful way, and you playfully challenge her back. Now, the key word here is playful, right, because if you're like, when did I say that? If you become aggressive, you have also failed the shit test. However, if you're playful, you're like, when did I say that? You're playfully flipping it back on her. Now, let's take a look at another way to pass a shit test.
Are you a hoe? I don't like hoes.
No, Alexis, I'm actually a virgin. I've been saving myself for Jesus and marriage, so.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I don't.
So this is another way of passing a shit test, right? This is not challenging. What you're doing is you're basically taking whatever she's saying and multiplying by 10 and flipping it on her, right? So basically she's like, are you a hoe, right? And like, obviously everyone knows I'm not a virgin, right? But I'm like, no, I'm actually a virgin. What are you talking about, right? So I'm taking her, whatever she's asking me, I'm exaggerating by 100, right? I'm not giving her like a real answer. I'm like, well, actually, I do hook up with a lot of girls, but I don't think I'm a hoe, right? If I start logically answering her shit test, right, I failed, but I'm just exaggerating it by 100, right? And that's how you will pass.
Put out. I'm like you. Not even on the third date, I'm not going to put out.
I like that you said that I am.
And now you can see, again, you passed the shit test, the topic has changed. Now let's take a look at one last example. This is like the final boss I had to beat.
Okay, so if we're going on our first date, where are we going?
Where are we going to go on our first date? I knew that was coming. Where are we going to go on our first date? I don't know. I think we should. Have you ever been to Miami?
No, your husky's really cute.
I know he is. I'm thinking on our first date, I'm going to take you to the best view in Miami with my husky chaperoning to make sure.
As a side note, this is kind of how I seed the idea of the girl coming back to my place, right? Oh, I'm going to take you to the best view in Miami. Where do you think the best view in Miami is? Oh, my house, right? So this is kind of what I also do to precede date.
That you don't take advantage of me in my vulnerable state.
Whoa. So you're
now notice what happened here, right? She's doing the whoa thing, right? But it's playful. She's not actually offended, right? You can tell by the girl's body language and smile whether she's actually being offended or not. So, right? So what do? I just mirror her energy. She's like, whoa. I'm like, whoa, right? Again, I don't actually get caught off guard. I'm not like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm like, whoa.
So you're saying
I'm not gonna use language like that, but you're saying I take advantage of people?
I don't know. You tell me.
Are you saying?
So yeah, she's challenging me. What am I doing? I'm taking the challenge and playfully flipping it back on her. She's like, whoa, are you saying that I take advantage of people? I'm like, I don't know. Do you? Right? Taking that energy and just literally mirroring it off and bouncing back to her.
Like,
are you saying I'm, yeah, go ahead.
Are you saying I'm?
Again, there's two conversations that are going on. There's the one that's basically under the table, which is like subconscious battle of frames. And there's also the conversation that's verbal that you can hear.
Rapey?
You don't give me the rapey type. I don't think you're rapey.
Saying I take advantage of you.
Yeah, you might tempt me with your like fucking blue eyes and your blonde hair. You might just look at me and I won't be able to resist. I don't know. Shit can happen.
It would be you.
What, you think so? No, I told you I'm a virgin.
Me making you do anything.
No, but come on, I told you, I don't do that.
So yeah, so now this is interesting. This is more advanced shit. So basically, you're taking a previous thread, right? When I said, I referenced earlier that I'm a virgin, and you're just using it back again, right? I'm like, no, come on, I told you, I'm a virgin, right? I don't do that kind of stuff, right? And that is how you pass the shit test. Now, if you guys want to see the full conversation, you can see this on my channel. This is a live stream we did 2 days ago. It's called Live Speed Dating with a Hot Confident Girl. Plus, I shoot my shot in parentheses, right? You can see the whole thing from start to finish. But you're going to see that the conversation dynamic I had with this girl went totally differently than the rest of the guys. And that's not because I'm so much better looking. It's just because I could pass her shit test, right? So whenever a girl gives you a shit test, this is how you fail. You start backtracking, you start rationalizing yourself, you get overly logical, you start hesitating, you start stuttering, fail, 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 fail. How you pass a shit test is either one, you playfully challenge her back. So she gives you a shit test, you give a shit test right back. Or two, you take it and you run with it and you exaggerate by 100 using sarcasm and humor, right? And if you do those things, the girl will see that you maintain your frame and she'll be a lot more respectful towards you and be a lot more attracted as well. All right, hopefully you guys found this video valuable, and you can pass my shit test by smashing the like button, hitting subscribe, and clicking the bell for notification, because I don't think you will actually do it. And you can prove me wrong by subscribing to the channel and sharing the video with a friend who you think this might help. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.